They're saying that the smear campaign is still going on.
Blake Lively's courtroom crusade against Justin Baldoni descended into absolute chaos, peeling back the curtain on her obsessive need for control and the ruthless tactics she used to maintain it.
Blake Lively's team keep writing the judge, I think probably 3 to 4 times a day at this point.
She staged a phony smear campaign, strong-armed law firms, and flooded the courts with bogus filings, all in a desperate attempt to cling to power.
Because as I said, we definitely know they planted stories about Justin Baldoni, for sure.
Seriously, how did she go from rom-com darling to a full-blown legal disaster with a god complex? By June 2025, Blake didn't just trip, she hurled herself off the cliff of public sanity. This isn't a misunderstood celebrity scandal, it's a full-on meltdown in designer heels. Her glossy image is now buried beneath lawsuits, courtroom mockery, and the kind of delusion that belongs in a screenplay. She's not chasing justice, she's chasing relevance. And the cracks are showing.
It's a letter that they wrote. I think this was written yesterday. And they're saying that Justin Baldoni's team is not cooperating with giving them the evidence that they're looking for. They're looking for evidence.
So what triggered this spiraling disaster? It all started with her petty feud with director Justin Baldoni. Yep, that guy, the one she's now cast as the arch-villain in her self-produced soap opera. But instead of acting like a functioning adult, Blake went full scorched earth. She launched lawsuits in New York, California, Georgia, basically every state with a courthouse. It's like she spun a globe, pointed at random, and said, "Where can I harass someone today?" Subpoenas became her party invites, and the legal system? Completely overwhelmed.
I'm just going to say it from day one. I don't think she's going to go to trial. I don't think she wants to go to trial. I don't think the purpose of this is to go to trial. I think the purpose of this is to damage Baldoni and get back at him as much as she can, to inflict as much pain on him as possible.
And then there's poor Judge Louis J. Lyman. The man probably aged a decade just sifting through her nonsense. In June alone, he denied 3 of her motions to compel, in a single week. That's 3 losses in 7 days. At this point, even the motions seem embarrassed to be filed. They practically roll their own eyes on the way to court.
Every time they're just asking the judge for new favors. I thought this was quite interesting.
Judge Lyman didn't hold back either. He basically accused her of turning federal court into a one-woman circus. Blake's legal playbook isn't about justice, it's about screaming, "Look at me, I still matter." Newsflash, this isn't Gossip Girl, it's federal litigation. And she wasn't done humiliating herself. No, Blake filed a brand new lawsuit using some shell company called Banzan Incorporated. And guess what? It had 0 named defendants. She literally sued no one. Who does that? You've got to be either deeply unwell or consumed by rage to file a lawsuit against the void. Don't call it legal strategy, it's a meltdown with a PDF attachment. It's giving drama club dropout energy, not a grown woman with million-dollar lawyers.
Feels very much like a narcissistic injury where she just can't let go and she needs to blame someone else for her mistakes. But all of that to say, I also think that she's abusing the court system.
And through all this chaos, one thing is painfully obvious: Blake Lively isn't some misunderstood mastermind navigating a tough situation. She's a control freak in freefall, trying to rebrand her collapse as a calculated leap. This isn't self-defense, it's courtroom spaghetti flinging, hoping something, anything, sticks. The delusion is loud, and the desperation even louder.
Saying that the smear campaign is still going on. So Blake Lively's team was asking for communication going over a much longer period of time than what actually Baldoni's team have been offering them. They're saying that they can give them communications from June 2024 to December 2024.
And just when you think it couldn't get messier, enter the PR disaster she cooked up and then tried to blame on everyone else. At the It Ends With Us red carpet premiere, people suddenly noticed Justin Baldoni was missing. Vanished. And like clockwork, TMZ and Daily Mail published pieces accusing him of fat-shaming and inappropriate behavior, stories that just happened to frame Blake as the innocent victim. What a wild, magical coincidence, right?
I said before, who planted that story that Blake Lively was fat shamed? Who was at that meeting knowing about what was going on? That was a meeting that took place in Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' apartment, and there were very few people there. So, of course, it was someone from Blake Lively's team.
Except, plot twist, those leaks allegedly came from Blake's own apartment. Yep. Sources say she and her inner circle were behind the headlines, feeding gossip to the press to protect her image and torch Baldoni's. But instead of owning up, Blake spun around and accused his team of launching a smear campaign. Girl, you're not the one under attack. You're the one holding the lighter and the gas can.
None of them have given Blake Lively's team what they want so far. I'm thinking that they have everything that they need from Jennifer Abel. They did actually take her phone and everything that was on there, so what they're looking for now.
And you want to know just how deep Blake's delusion runs? She actually tried to drag Justin Baldoni's lawyer into her fantasy conspiracy. Imagine being so detached from reality that you believe your opponent's legal counsel is secretly masterminding a smear campaign. No proof, no documents, just raw vibes and victim theatrics. Meanwhile, her own PR team was leaking to the tabloids like it was an all-you-can-spin buffet. It's almost sad how far gone she is. Then comes the real collapse of her narrative, Jed Wallace. The crisis PR guy Blake blamed for orchestrating the takedown? Yeah, he was hired after the drama exploded. As in, August 8th, 2 days after the red carpet, 2 days after the headlines, and 2 days after Blake's spiral was already trending. So how did he mastermind a smear campaign that happened before he was even hired? He didn't. She just made it up. Blake spun an entire conspiracy theory out of thin air because her ego couldn't take the hit of self-sabotage. And instead of facing that truth, she tripled down, blaming lawyers, trashing PR reps, demanding apologies from people who owe her nothing at this point. It's less a defense and more like a one-woman tragic press tour for her own downfall. Accountability? Never heard of her. Blake's stuck in a loop of blame and fantasy, and just when you think she might pump the brakes, nope. She kicks off a nationwide legal stunt show. Subpoenas flying across New York, California, Georgia, like she's on tour with chaos as her opening act. She targeted former Wayfarer staff, demanded private messages from people who don't even work there anymore, and bulldozed right through attorney-client privilege. Blake doesn't believe in legal boundaries, she wants everything. And if facts won't save her, she'll bury her enemies in paperwork instead.
Basically saying that the Wayfair parties haven't given them enough. They want more. They want to find this evidence. And as I said so many times before.
But here's the twist, Judge Lyman wasn't having any of it. He outright slammed Blake for filing in the wrong jurisdiction and made it clear that she and her legal team were knowingly abusing the legal process to harass people. And honestly, that's exactly what it was. Blake isn't chasing justice, she's throwing sand in the court's eyes, hoping no one sees that she started the fire. Her entire game is to create so much chaos, so much noise, that the court starts to wonder if the other side is hiding something. It's not legal strategy. It's smoke and mirrors with a side of manufactured confusion.
The pattern of behavior of people that are just doing this to harass people is to often file a ton of motions, to confuse the judge, to rack up and drive up the costs.
And let's not pretend we haven't seen this playbook before. Blake's entire meltdown reeks of Amber Heard déjà vu: weaponize the system, twist the victim narrative, bury the truth in drama, and pray the public's too distracted to notice. The only difference? Amber had a better poker face. Blake looks like she's about to crack every time a motion gets denied, which, lately, is a weekly ritual. This isn't just sloppy legal work, it's a very public unraveling. A last-ditch power grab masquerading as litigation, and if you think that's the bottom of the barrel, think again. Blake made one rookie mistake no PR-obsessed celebrity should ever make: don't flaunt receipts unless you've actually read them. In her amended complaint, she boldly claimed that the alleged smear campaign against her kicked off on August 7th with Jed Wallace's social combat plan. One issue: Jed Wallace didn't join her PR team until August 9th. That's 2 full days after the media storm had already erupted over fat-shaming rumors and that infamous too-long kiss. So, either her timeline's made up, or her entire case is. Either way, it's not just embarrassing. It's delusional.
A lot of reasons and ways she's been misusing the court system, and one of them is through subpoenas. We've already know that she abused the subpoena process, in my opinion, by filing that sham lawsuit, Van Zandt Inc., which sued no one about reputational harm that was caused to her.
So let's do the math together, Blake. If the PR guy you're accusing of masterminding your public downfall didn't even join your team until after the headlines exploded, who exactly are you blaming? Because that timeline doesn't implicate Jed Wallace, it exposes you. It proves you tried to rewrite reality, juggle dates, and expected everyone to play along like we were extras in some nostalgic reboot. Newsflash, this isn't the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, it's federal court, not your fan club, and that so-called social combat plan your legal team keeps waving around like it's a smoking gun? It's literally a $30,000 per month service package from a PR firm called Street Relations, meant to help brands manage bad press. That's it. No smear campaigns, no Reddit psyops, just glorified customer service with hashtags. And Blake didn't even buy it. One proposal, the expensive one she loves to quote, outlined a hypothetical $175,000 plan with Reddit threads and aggressive fan engagement. Keyword, hypothetical. It was pitched, reviewed, and rejected. It never happened, but instead of being honest, Blake's team leaked selective emails to spin it into a covert operation. It's like someone blaming food poisoning on shrimp they never even ordered. Girl, you didn't eat the shrimp, sit down. And when you actually zoom out, the dates don't match, the emails aren't threatening, and the payment trail ends before anything begins. She's trying to prove a conspiracy with the equivalent of a grocery list. There's no secret war, just Blake distorting reality to suit her latest narrative, and let's be blunt, her lawyers are counting on the public being too distracted, or too dumb, to catch it. But we caught it. And at this point, the only person still buying into Blake's fantasy is Blake herself. Now let's talk about the real reason this disaster exists. It's not about justice, trauma, or ethics. It's about control. Multiple insiders have confirmed what many suspected from the start, Blake didn't just want to star in It Ends With Us. She wanted to own it.